Gobble, gobble. Let's talk turkey. It is time for Thanksgiving, y'all. So, if you live in the United States, you have probably seen the Aldi $40 meal deal that feeds 10. Well, it doesn't quite work for my husband and I. We like a nice, casual, just the two of us Thanksgiving, but we also like to have leftovers that will feed us for a few days after Thanksgiving and some things that will make additional meals. So I'm going to show you our version of the $40 meal, only I'm going to come in a little bit under budget. We're talking about $32 to $36, and then I'm going to show you some other options that you can add on that might make your Thanksgiving a little bit more festive and feed a little bit more than just the two of you with leftovers. It could feed up to 6 to 8 people. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is what our traditional Thanksgiving meal looks like in our household. We're going to start with the turkey. So I did not get a butterball this year. I got Shady Brook. It's shady turkey this year. This is the one that I got, and I got it from Walmart. And let's see how much I paid here. 84 cents a pound, so it was $10.32 for this turkey. Now this turkey is, oh good God, 12 pounds, definitely going to feed at least 6 people. Okay, so while the Aldi deal does include sweet potatoes and russet potatoes, I only like sweet potatoes when they're roasted. I don't really like them mushy in a casserole and topped with marshmallows. It's just not my thing, and it's not really Dawn's thing either. So when I was at Walmart, and I put it on my video, I got a 5-pound of russet potatoes for $2.47. Now, I also saw at Aldi in my last video, I saw $3.25 for a 10-pound bag of russet potatoes. But there is another option, and this was a Publix BOGO. So these simply mashed potatoes, which are very easy to do, you don't need to have your milk, you don't need to have your butter. Well, you add butter at the end. You don't need to have the things that you need in order to make mashed potatoes from scratch. I got this for BOGO. I think I paid about $4.29 for 2 of them. While we're on the subject of milk and butter, what I'm going to assume is that you have some pantry staples. So I'm going to assume that you have flour to thicken your gravy. You have sugar to help make your pie. Maybe have milk on hand. If not, you could use evaporated milk. That's pretty cheap by the can. I showed you in my last video with Aldi that it was under $1 for a can of that, if that's how you want to make your mashed potatoes and your green bean casserole. One thing that I'm not going to assume that you have is butter. Butter is essential, and I will probably use 2 or 3 of these sticks of butter because I'm going to put one in the turkey. I'm going to stuff it in the turkey, and then I like to have it slightly melted and put it underneath the skin so that the skin gets nice and roasty toasty. The other thing I'm going to assume is that you have some basic spices for your turkey. So salt and pepper. I have some thyme. I have some herbs de Provence. But you don't need all of that. You know, if you just have salt and pepper and you have some vegetables to put in it, like onions and celery, then I think you're good to go. And of course, butter. If you look at that $40 menu deal at Aldi, they don't even list butter. So I think they're assuming that you have butter. They don't even list it. Okay, so let's talk about the turkey. And I mentioned celery. So I got this for 95 cents at Aldi. So I will chop up a few of these. I will stick it in the pan with the turkey. I also have onions. I got mine at Winn-Dixie. I think it was a BOGO deal for $3.99 for 2 pounds of them. Or not 2 pounds, but 2 bags of them. And then I saw yesterday at Aldi, they had 3-pound bag of onions for $1.65. So some spices, some butter, some celery, some onions. That's pretty much all I use when I roast my turkey. Let's talk about the gravy now. So Aldi's $40 meal deal lists this brown packaged gravy. We don't like that. But instead, I believe for I'm looking at my list here, $1.59, I was able to pick up this. Now, I use this as a base. And so while my turkey is roasting, getting all nice and golden and glistening for us, when it's done, I will take the gravy drippings, I'll strain off the fat, and then I'll combine the gravy drippings in with this as my base. Maybe add in a little flour or cornstarch to thicken things up. And then it doesn't taste quite like a jarred gravy. Let's talk stuffing for the bird. I never stuff my bird. I always do the stuffing separate from the bird. It's just a personal preference. But this is just generic stuffing that I got at Aldi, and it was under $1. I think it was 95 cents maybe. The stovetop stuffing, I'm looking at my notes here, it was $1.98 at Aldi. So you could get 2 boxes of these for one of those and stretch your meal even further and still remain under that $40 budget. If you want to get a little more fancy, you could have gone for the bag stuffing that they had as well. It was $2.19. And you might come out pretty much even with getting 2 boxes of this or 1 bag of that. The other thing on the Aldi $40 Feed 10 menu was boxed shell mac and cheese. Not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of packaged cheese or powdered cheese in my macaroni and cheese. If you saw my YouTube short, then you saw that I did a J. Alexander not your ordinary macaroni and cheese recipe, and it's not a copycat, it's the actual recipe from the restaurant, and it turns out delicious. But it uses some cheeses like Gruyere and Parmesan. So if you have more room in your budget and you want to do a macaroni and cheese, I would highly recommend that recipe. It was so good. Okay, another thing that doesn't really work for us, and I have never seen this in all of my 53 years of going to family Thanksgiving dinners, I have never once seen baby carrots, other than maybe on a charcuterie type of tray, you know, where you're just having a little bit of crunch before dinner. I've never seen cooked carrots or baby carrots other than on a cheese tray or a charcuterie tray. So the baby carrots, not really working for us either. Let's talk about green bean casserole. We are the traditional green bean casserole type family where we like it with the canned green beans, and we like it with the mushroom soup, and we like it with the French fried onions. This is just what we grew up on. It's kind of nostalgic for us. It reminds us of family. And so we like to cook it this way. Now, when I was in Aldi, I saw the green beans for 50 cents a can. I got these for $1 a can. So you can definitely get them cheaper. You can get them for 50 cents each at Aldi and get 2 cans of them. Oh, this is corn. This was actually $1.24 at Aldi, but I got this one for $1 at Walmart. And then these were, I believe, let me look at my list here. I think they were $3.59 at Aldi, not this brand, but their brand, for French fried onions. I like to mix them in the green bean casserole, and then I like to top them as well. And again, assuming that you have milk, because I put a little bit of milk in with this cream of mushroom, just a little bit, to make it a little more creamier. But you could definitely use evaporated milk too, if that's what you have on hand. In Aldi's $40 menu deal, they list whole cranberries. I don't know who uses the whole cranberries. I know a whole lot of people, including my husband. I'm not one of them, but my husband does. Jellied cranberry sauce. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be Thanksgiving without it. You know, this is the type where you open it up and it's gelatinous and you kind of shake it out and it's got the rings with the indentation of the can. This is the stuff, man. This is the stuff that even professional chefs have claimed to just absolutely love, and Thanksgiving's not the same without it. This cranberry is $1.59. If you go with the Ocean Spray one, I think it's over $2. So definitely a deal here at Aldi for the cranberry. It's time to talk bread. I'm very particular about my bread at Thanksgiving. In the Aldi deal, they want you to have Hawaiian rolls. I have found that their Hawaiian rolls are not quite the same tasting as the name brand, and I don't really care for them. But what I did discover these guys right here for $3.29 that you saw me buy in my Aldi video. The other thing that I bought were these. I've already used a couple of them for dinner, but these were only $1.35 for these brown and serve. I don't like cold rolls for Thanksgiving, and when I went to a family gathering years ago, I was served Hawaiian rolls at that dinner, which was fine. It was great. I so appreciate, my aunt cooking for Thanksgiving for all of those people, and completely understand if you want to just get some very simple rolls. My preference is to have something warm and soft and pillowy that my butter can just sink into, and I can just, it's just bursting with flavor in my mouth. So I just prefer a warm roll, either this one, or Sister Schubert's, in the round aluminum foil pan, and then I like to pick from the middle. My husband hates when I pick things from the middle, but I like to pick the rolls, the Parker House rolls, from the middle. Okay, this year I'm going to make the pie. So when I was at Aldi, I found this ready-to-bake deep dish pie crust. It's already in the pan. I don't need to spread anything out like the Pillsbury ones or the generic ready-to-bake crust. This one's already in its own pan. Just need to go ahead and pop it in the oven. I got a can of pumpkin. It was $1.09 for the can of pumpkin. The pie crust was $1.85. And again, I have sugar, I have flour, I have butter, I have the things on hand that I need to make this pie. So I didn't need to go out and buy anything else. And this definitely came in under the cheapest pie that I could find, which was the Marie Callender's pie that was at Walmart, and I believe it was $5.80 something, almost $6 for the pie. I can do better by making my own. Ham. I got this gourmet ham for $5.50. And it's pre-sliced, and there's easily at least 10 slices in this. You now have not only turkey, but you have ham. You'll definitely be able to feed 6 to 8 people with 2 meat choices, as well as all of the basic things that I just showed you. If you want to spend a little bit more and you want to have an appetizer that you can offer to your guest or just yourselves, you saw me purchase this at Aldi. $1.49 for crackers. All of their cheeses, I have pepper jack here because I'm going to make something with this pepper jack. I'm going to make an appetizer with it. But you could slice this, cube it up, and it was $1.79. So you could go for this one and maybe a cheddar one and have a really nice appetizer, a really nice cheese board for $5. I ended up getting some brie because what I want to do is I want to put it into the oven, and I want to top it with some fig jam and maybe some pecans, and just make a very nice little brie appetizer. If you want to go with the brie and maybe a pepper jack and the crackers here, you're looking at adding about $8 to your menu price. If you have a little bit extra in your budget and you want to make an extra side like the cornbread casserole that I'm going to show you on my YouTube short, or you want to make the spinach and artichoke dip that I'm going to show you, and yes, I put the pepper jack cheese in there, or you want to see the brie with the fig sauce on it, tune into my YouTube shorts. I'll show you how I make those things. I'll show it to you before Thanksgiving. But this is just another way that you can, feed a little bit more people. Or just have, a little bit extra for your delicious Thanksgiving dinner. But the basic stuff that I showed you that comes out to $32 to $36, that's an absolutely lovely meal. And one that will definitely feed your family and hopefully create some nice Thanksgiving memories. Okay, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment, and I hope that you have a lovely Thanksgiving holiday. Until next time, hasta luego, my friends.